as our guest today. Our guest is a hotel school graduate and alumni of IHM Gurdaspur. Started his hospitality journey with the Taj Hotels as a guest service officer in front office way back in 2004. Worked his way up to the management team and remained with the Taj family till 2013, post which he moved to the Leela Palaces Hotels and Resorts and then moved on to the Marriott International and worked there for 3 years, and finally has been holding steady at the Four Seasons Hotels and Resorts since the last 3 years. He has been fortunate to travel all over India, Asia, and North America for work-related purposes. His philosophy is that there is no shortcut to success and one needs to be both hard and smart working. He enjoys spending time with colleagues at work, motivating them and keeping them engaged with learning. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute honor to welcome the Director of Residences of Four Seasons Hotels and Resorts, Mr. Rahul Mamgain. Rahul, welcome to CTA Quick Bites.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be over here and addressing my audience. Very excited to be a part of this call, and whatever insights I have about the industry and whatever experience that I have, I would love to share it with the future budding talent.
Yes, Rahul, and we look forward to learning so much from you, because you have been in this industry for quite a long time now. And yes, we have a lot of aspirants. We have our own students who are currently training, watching you and very eager to hear what all you have to share. So Rahul, before we begin, why don't you just take us through your career so far, the journey of your career so far?
Sure. Absolutely. We'll be very happy to do that. As you mentioned during the introduction, I started my hospitality journey way back in 2004 with one of the India's most iconic brand, Taj Hotels. I was very fortunate to get through into Taj Hotels. And I was in one of the flagship properties known as the Taj Palace, which is in New Delhi. Worked there for approximately, I think, 5 years and entered at a very entry-level position. And then moved up, graduated to a duty manager, and then decided to let's move and see some other hotels and properties of the Taj. Moved to the Maldives and pre-opened one of the Taj resorts, which was one of the first pre-opening resorts under the brand name known as Vivanta, which was back in 2009. Had a successful stint, say about 2.5 years, and then moved to Goa, one of the iconic properties again of the Taj, known as the Fort Aguada. I would say that Goa today is known because of that property, Fort Aguada. That's the kind of heritage that property has. And then finally hung my boots to the Taj and then moved on to the Leela Hotels in Bangalore. Again, one of the most iconic properties of the country, the finest hotel palace of India. Worked there for about 1.5 years and then decided to move to the Marriott Hotels and took care of the entire rooms division at the Marriott, JW Marriott in Bangalore. So that was my stint with them. Something interesting came up with the Four Seasons in Bangalore and took up this challenge. Four Seasons is one of the most iconic brands of the hospitality and hotel industry. When you talk about luxury, when you talk about lifestyle, class, Four Seasons is always the number one. I'm very fortunate to be a part of one of the pre-opening properties of Four Seasons in Bangalore. And I'm very proud to tell that, this property is the first property in India which would be hosting private residences. So I spearhead this project of private residences and take care in the capacity of Director of Residences since last 3 years. And I've been over here holding steady so far at the Four Seasons. And because of my work, I traveled around, learned, new cultures, new destinations, new places, and also learned about some people. So that's my journey.
Right. Amazing. Amazing, Rahul, to have experienced so much. Now I would ask you a question which is very, very, like an interview-like question, but I'm really keen, Rahul. What
Mhm.
made you choose this hospitality industry, right? Before you joined a hotel school? What made you, think that, this is what you could be doing?
Right. I was always fascinated with something to do with travel, and I
Mhm.
was always fascinated to do something where I can meet people, make connections. Uh, Although my first choice was to join the Indian Armed Forces,
Ah,
uh, but then somehow I landed up into hotel management because of this is something very very unique. And I remember back in the days when I was preparing to get into any professional courses or career at that point of time. Hotel management was also one of the courses which was very very unexplored, unknown. So that is something which intrigued me and made me very very interested to join the hospitality sector and the hospitality industry.
mhm. Right. So, Rahul, you've spent quite some time now in the industry, and you've stuck to it. How have you seen this industry evolve over 1.5 decades or more than that you have been involved? How have you seen this industry evolve? Like from 2004 to 2021. How have you seen it evolve?
I would say that basics remain the same. The industry's basic is exactly the same. It's all about hospitality, people, culture, uh, having connections, building connections, and doing the best that everyone can. Uh,
Mhm.
the evolution that I see is technology, the human capital awareness is something which has evolved over a period of time. I remember when I joined the Taj hotels. Uh, we were not so tech savvy at that point of time. The industry was not tech savvy at all. And now, the technology has reached to a level where you don't need to be interacting with someone face to face or in person or even on a call. You can just, chat with them. You can connect with them virtually, and you can have everything virtually delivered to you. So
Mhm.
that's something which has evolved over a period of time. Automation is something which has also come into picture, where there's no connection at all, human connection on the face value, and you get everything delivered and serviced at your doorstep. So that is something that has, I personally feel, has changed. There's a lot of exposure now. Travel before COVID era was much more easier. uh, Many brands coming into our country has made it easy for anybody and everybody to go to a five-star hotel, dine, or maybe stay as well. I remember back in the days we did not have as many hotel chains in the country, and
Right.
known ones were only the Taj, the ITC, and the Oberoi's.
Overalls, yes, yes,
These were the
yes.
iconic brands.
Yes, yes, yes. So I have a lot of, of course, not some questions where I would really want you to tell us about the new things happening in the hotel industry. So we'll come to that. But, Rahul, I have a question in my mind because even for, people aspiring to join this industry or, people already working, say, for example, or, the knowledge that people have about hotels is that hotels or working in hotels means long hours,
Mhm.
so many people have that inhibition, or maybe they just have this concept of, hotels means unending hours of work.
Right.
So what do you have to say about it, and how challenging is it?
Um, I would say it's all about perspective.
Ah,
And I would also say that long working hours in hotel industry, I would say it's a myth as well.
correct, correct.
You can take up any profession, you can pick up any profession, and the most important or the most talked about professions. in our society is mostly doctors, engineers, right? I don't think so. They are at peace, and they are also
Correct.
working for 8 or 9 hours, going to work at 9 o'clock, coming back at 6 o'clock, right?
Mhm.
It's all about perspective. It's all about how do you accept the profession, and how are you able to move forward with it. I personally never felt that we had long hours, fatigue. It was always very interesting because you don't know what's going to happen the next moment.
Right. Right. Okay. Yeah. So if you really enjoy what you're doing, hours don't matter, isn't it? Hours
Absolutely,
really matter.
absolutely,
So,
absolutely. And just to sum up, it's something that Mark Anthony very famously says, that if you do what you love, you will never work a day in your life.
yeah, absolutely. 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 Rahul, now having spoken a little bit about long hours and all, now let's take you back to when you joined this industry, okay, your early
Mhm,
days, and to
mhm.
now where you are, right? Can you just tell us a
Right.
little how it was when you were probably you told that entry level and then you rose up the ranks and today director of residences. How do you look at both the sides of your working?
So I feel that, when I joined the industry, it was something larger than life.
Ah, I understand.
You always sees these mesmerizing views. You always sees these shimmering and shining lobbies on a screen. And when you are into it, in the thicks and thins of it, it is a different world altogether. So I would say my initial days, or the the beginning of my career, was very, very exciting. I was very, very excited about living the moment because I had only seen them on a screen and I had never lived it. So I was living every moment of it. I had a lot of learnings, a lot of changes in my life. It was like a roller coaster ride, but I enjoyed each and every bit of it. And it helped me to build the foundation of my personality as a professional and in my personal life as well. So I'm very, very grateful and thankful that I came into this industry, so to say.
Right, right, Rahul. Amazing to listen to all this. Now let's come to the current times, right? Okay, it's been a little bit of a you know shaky period, let me put it like that. But
Right,
I'm sure that this industry is going to bounce back.
right.
How hopeful are you about this industry bouncing back, and why do you feel so?
Well, the time is, I would say, right now. And the pandemic has actually not left anybody untouched. Everybody has been affected by it in some or the other way. Some directly and some might be indirectly. Um, it's a little tough time for our industry, and all of us are struggling. However, I do not see any reason for this to pass away and we coming back again, and again being at the helm of things, again getting busy, welcoming our guests. People want to travel. People want to see each other. People want to meet each other. They want to sit together, eat together, touch each other, have that personal connection with each other. And I don't think so that this pandemic will break that spirit of any one of us. So the only thing that I see is that the vaccination drive needs to go up, and it's not only I'm talking about our country, but I'm talking globally. If that happens, a lot of confidence building would happen in travelers, in people, and they would love to move around and travel around. And I'm personally very, very hopeful that, say, about by next year, 2022, things will start looking a little better, and by 2023 things should uh, be almost on track.
Right,
That's my personal opinion.
right, right. Even I feel that, because I'm very hopeful that 2021, with vaccination and all, I think the confidence will slowly then come back.
Right.
Rahul, why don't you tell us a little bit about, what are the new things that hotels are adapting to or they are having to do as far as health and hygiene is concerned, because guests and their safety, a lot of things matter, right? So what are the new things that keeping the COVID thing in mind, that hotels are doing these days?
So I think the most important thing right now that has happened, that all of us have realized that uh, we can't be with each other physically. We can't see each other. We can't meet each other physically. So the best thing that I think that has happened to us as human beings is technology. Technology is being adopted in this industry, and at a very high scale and high level. Most of the hotel chains are adopting to the technologies where you don't have to uh, personally go and see someone or meet someone. You are virtually connected with everybody. Mobile apps, mobile chats, uh, platforms like food ordering platforms, right? So many hotels are also adopting this kind of technology to ensure that they are able to provide the services. In terms of health and safety, I would say that hotel companies are collaborating with the medical field and the medical industry to learn more and more about this evolving pandemic, and what are the basic things that can be done to ensure every human life is being kept safe, and yet they are able to enjoy, they are able to interact, they are able to have those little happiness that they can. So this is another evolving situation in our industry that's currently going on. Uh, I also see that many companies are investing into well-being of the team members, whether it's physical health or whether it's mental health. There's a lot of investment over there from all the companies, uh, because at the end of the day, everybody is getting fatigued of this.
Right, right,
And it is very important that everybody stays in the right frame of mind.
right, right, right. And Rahul, it's been a while that we've been to a hotel, because of this. So what new things, if somebody visits a restaurant, say for example, these days,
Mhm.
a five-star hotel, what new things, would they experience, as far as, because keeping the current times in mind, what kind of new approaches, or, new things, that they are in restaurant, they're adapting to in restaurants and bars maybe.
So I would say that technology again has taken over, and it has taken over in a very good and a positive way. Uh, Most of the restaurants that you go to now, you would not get those paper menus or physical menus in your hands, right? There would always be a QR code kept at the table, and the server would request you to scan the QR code, and you can choose the dishes from. You can order from the mobile screen directly to the server. And
Mhm.
some of the hotels and some of the restaurants have evolved to a state that you don't even need to speak to the server. You can just choose it on your mobile app. uh,
Mhm.
the order would directly be fired in the kitchen. The chef would prepare it, and the server would come and serve it to your table. So I
Mhm.
think that is one of the most evolving technology in the current food and beverage industry that I see, and I
Okay.
see that it is going to stay over here because it's much more easier. It is much more faster and quicker,
Right.
and you don't have to go through those typical menus, flip pages.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. All right, Rahul. Now, Rahul, we keep hearing this term these days called staycation.
Mhm.
Of course, with this virus, here, there's a lot of impetus on, the staycations. So, do you think the staycation is a temporary kind of an arrangement, because, we want to lure the domestic people to, come and, use the hotel facilities? Or do you think staycations is something that is going to be with us? It's going to be there for, even after the pandemic is over?
As far as I remember, vacation has always been there. It's
Wow.
just it's being termed now. people within the city used to come and stay in five-star hotels on the weekends, mostly, because they want to get away from the hustle bustle of their daily life, number one. Number two, there is scarcity of time, and they can't take flights or they can't drive out, and they just want peace, solace, and unwinding. So I think this has always been there. Staycation has always been there. It's just that instead of weekends, it is throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout the year now.
Okay.
As rightly said, hotels are promoting staycations more and more, because people can't travel intercity or interstate, or even internationally at the moment, because of the restrictions. But yes, people who are within the city and they want some kind of relaxation, rejuvenation, they are going to the hotels and
Right.
having that time, being into a new location, maybe, just going to a new location. Don't have to cook by yourself, just go and relax
Right.
and have
Right.
some good time.
Right. 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 Okay. Okay, Rahul. So I'm shifting a little bit now, and um, because we have a lot of aspirants watching us, we have people who are preparing themselves. So,
Mhm.
what do you look for, Rahul, when you are recruiting someone, especially for the front office department at the entry level? What are you looking for in that person?
I think because of the changing time
Ah,
and evolving situation, uh, not only me but a lot of industry leaders as well, uh, and be it front office or be it any other division or department, we look at aptitude and attitude. That's the most important thing. Other things a person can be trained. You can provide a skill set to a person. You can teach him how to use a software. You can teach him or her how to greet people. What is the verbiage that you need to
mhm,
use, how to use the technology, what is the hotel inventory, like how many rooms, which room is which part of the hotel. But what is important is attitude and aptitude.
mhm,
That is the key thing, that anybody looks at, and I especially look at somebody's attitude and aptitude. If that is right, then rest is easy. Rest is very, very easy.
I understand. And yeah, Rahul, I agree with you because 80% of what you would achieve, it all depends on your attitude towards things, right? So I
Exactly.
completely agree. So please, young people hearing or watching us, okay, please be very sure about what Rahul just said. Okay, so attitude or your emotional intelligence becomes a key factor, in you being taken as someone important to know that this person can actually be a very strong member of our team. So emotional intelligence, or attitude as we call it, becomes a key factor. Now, Rahul, there are currently people training in institutions are having to sit at home or attend classes online.
Right.
uh, what would you suggest them, because they have time at their own places? Okay, so of course the online classes don't continue throughout the day. It's
Correct.
a couple of hours. What all would you suggest them that they should keep doing, and building, preparing themselves, because when the industry reopens and they want to apply and they're ready to apply, that they
Mhm.
should not be found wanting. So what do you suggest them? What should they be preparing for?
Right. I think what is important right now is, and this goes for everybody, it's not only for aspiring students, but I think for everybody in large. I would say that what is important is that how do you keep yourself engaged, both physically and mentally. And there are various ways of doing that, right? Maybe you can pick up a new hobby, which you always wanted to do, but you could not do because of lack of time, uh, or lack of skill. There's new skill that you can develop during such time. You can learn something new. You can learn something about the current affairs, what's going on in the country, what's going on in the world, and what is going on in the industry. There are a lot of write-ups. There's a lot of material available online these days. where you can access and learn something. Another important thing is to have a very positive frame of mind and body. That is something very, very important. If you have a positive frame of mind and body, you would be able to achieve what you aspire to achieve. That is
Right.
something very, very important. And connection is the most important, I would say. Stay connected, uh, check on each other, talk to each other, learn something from each other. I think that's the best thing to do at this moment.
Right.
We will bounce back for sure. I know that. This is a simple law of physics, right?
Right.
So we will bounce back. We will for sure bounce back.
Right. Right. So for everyone at home, okay, I think there were some golden words spoken. You have time to kind of re-energize yourself and make yourself more powerful. You have the time right now. Okay, so don't while it away. Don't while it away. Rahul, last question. Okay, I know we've taken a lot of time of yours, and I know you're very busy. But Rahul, anything but in particular as a skill that you feel, keeping the current trends in mind, that you feel that someone should really be working on to be able to join this industry later?
As I said earlier, attitude and aptitude is something which is key to success. And a perfect cocktail is smart work and hard work. If you mix all of this together, you would be able to be successful for sure, and nobody can stop you. Nobody can stop you. Uh, do not give up. Stay focused. Learn trends, which is available online. Read about what is the industry going through at the moment, uh, and learn from it rather than thinking, oh my God, what's happening right now. Rather than that, learn from it. In the school, we've been taught history, not to sulk about it, but to ensure that we learn from history and we don't repeat the mistakes that we've learned, right?
Right.
So learn from it and move forward, and take things in your stride. Things will get a hopeful, things will become better for sure. There's no
Right.
doubt.
Right. 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 Okay. So it's not far, that this industry is going to come back, and very strongly. I strongly believe that. Okay. So it's the time for you to start preparing for it, and gear up, for the day when the industry starts looking for uh, skilled and qualified people. Okay, you should not be found wanting. Rahul, thank you so much for your time. It was an absolute pleasure to have you with us. Okay, and those insights into what the current trends are, and to know more about you. It was an absolute pleasure. I just can't thank you enough, Rahul. That you took up so much time to come to us, and we wish you all the best, Rahul, in all your endeavors in the future.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure actually to be over here with you and address the students and the people who logged in or would have access to this platform at a later stage. It was lovely talking to you and connecting with you. Uh, it was my pleasure. Thank you very, very much. I wish you all the best and stay safe.
Thank you, Rahul. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you so
All
much.
right.
You too. Please stay safe. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you
Bye.
very much. Bye bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, so that was Rahul Mamgain joining us all the way from Bangalore. Okay, and I think he had a lot of interesting things to share, and we will keep bringing in eminent guests to CTA Quick Bites, from where we can learn and we can have a different perspective into looking at things. I am Vinay Sharma signing off, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we will keep bringing in more interesting guests for you to keep learning and knowing more about this industry and